Good morning. This is Certified Health Coach Susan Zartman. It is Monday, the 30th of May in 2017. And because it's a holiday weekend, I didn't figure anybody would probably hop on the call with me. So I thought I'd just go ahead and put together our video overview of Chapter 9 of Dr. A's Habits of Health. And our goal is to have optimal health, to learn how to eat and live a healthy life, not just for a short time. We're not just trying to get to a number on a scale, but to really feel good, for as long as God has us here. And Dr. A says, learning to eat healthy for life is about much more than numbers on the scale. Don't forget to measure your other successes, like creating a new healthy recipe, walking farther than you thought you could, or enjoying an evening out while making good food choices. And every little thing you can celebrate, because every good choice we make helps to reinforce that in our minds and makes that our long-term goal of making more healthy yes choices than no choices. So anyway, some tips. This is about shopping this week and choosing wisely. And Dr. A has a color-coded shopping system. And those of you that have done our 501 program or are doing it in the Optavia guide, it's got the charts for the lean and green stuff, and it shows you the different colors of green and if they're higher or lower glycemic and higher and lower carbohydrate counts in there. Before you shop, be sure you've created the microenvironment of health that was discussed in Chapter 6. For starters, that means cleaning out your house of all junk food. Sometimes even along the way, you need to go, maybe I should be getting rid of that. Have fun doing it. Imagine you're getting rid of your bad food troubles and renewing your kitchen as a source of health, life, and energy. And then be sure you arm yourself with a shopping list before you enter any sort of food shop. That'll help you avoid impulse buying. And then stay along the outer aisles of the store where the produce, meat, fish, and other fresh, healthy items are found. That'll help you avoid the tempting processed foods on the inner aisles. And never go shopping when you're hungry. I heard someone talking in the last week or so about all those foods that you do find on the outer edges of the store. You think about when you walk in, you see the produce, and you've got your meat, and you've got your dairy, and all those things tend to be fresher. It takes a lot more support to keep them in a viable and usable state. Where the stuff in the center of the store tends to be a lot more processed. They can stay on the shelf for who knows how many years, and you just hope that they are noticing those expiration dates. I'm always looking at those when I buy stuff anyway. But it's kind of interesting. So what are we putting in our bodies? And it just helps us to be mindful, and that's a big part of the goal. And anyway, it's like many experts in the medical establishment think that learning how to choose healthy, low glycemic foods is just too difficult for people to grasp, beside the proven health benefits. Well, Dr. A's simple color-coded charts makes it easy for us to master shopping for healthy proteins, starches, and fruits and vegetables. And the message couldn't be simpler that eating low glycemic foods, it's the best way to eat, to lose weight, and to create health. So not everybody has to lose weight, but for those of us that do and did, we want to have an easy way and a proven method, and then to create health. That's really the goal in long term. Many Western nations, like the U.S., are experiencing obesity epidemics that have embraced the glycemic index. And it's an important way for people to understand how to make healthy choices. Sadly, the United States medical community has been slow to endorse this powerful food, claiming that it's just too hard for people to understand. So anyway, it helps you just to know on the different charts. This chapter is a great resource to have. There's no way to cover everything in it, but it's here for you. Plus, it's really cool. Let me show you on his website. He's got a website, Dr. Wayne Andersen, S-E-N. It's Dr. A's website, and there's a resources tab here. And you go down to guides and charts, and you can actually click on different shopping charts. So while you're in the weight loss, the 5-in-1, you can find out the different things. If you're kind of wondering, I don't think you'd have that vegetable, if that's going to be good for me, it spells them all out here. Or if you're trying to figure out more of like the meat and poultry choices, that's here. And I know some of you have asked about, what can I have? Cheese or yogurt or some of those kind of things. So it gives you meatless options. So there's some things there. And of course, the resources that you have from your coach include even more extensive list. But these are great. I mean, you can even pull these up on your smartphone while you're shopping. And then once you're in the optimizing phase of your life and you've hit your weight goal, he's got a whole healthy, low glycemic shopping, and he breaks them down because there's some more things that you can eat when you're not trying to lose the weight that work just fine. And of course, our healthy fuelings, the portion controlled, nutritionally dense fuelings, are also an excellent way to obtain that calorie-friendly fueling. And that just makes it really simple. Let's see here. Some of his tips for dialing down and lowering the glycemic index is pretty interesting. We're on page 94. And this are some little tips that were kind of interesting to help you keep your blood sugar under control in the foods that you eat every day. First, use vinegar and lemon juice. You can pickle your vegetables and eat sourdough bread. Not on phase 1, you can't have the bread part. And that will slow down the starch digestion and the rate at which your stomach empties. I think I need to try that. Hey, a little bit of lemon juice and some vinegar, why not? And then when you are on the optimization things, undercooking things like spaghetti, oatmeal, and other pasta-like starches makes al dente, slows the digestion and prevents the starch from gelatinizing. And then if you can use the stone ground flour rather than milled, and again, these are some things that are a little bit farther in the program there when you're at a future phase. And then if you eat higher glycemic foods, which should be avoided during weight loss, always combine them with low glycemic choices. And that will help to lower the overall effect on blood sugar and the glycemic content of your meal. So if you are having some things that are more carb-oriented, always balance it with the proteins, and that will help with that. One criticism that's sometimes made about the traditional USDA food pyramid is it doesn't help people distinguish between healthy and unhealthy choices. It doesn't discourage the consumption of red meats high in saturated fats or encourage the use of health-enhancing oils. It gives equal classification to energy-giving whole grain products and the health-robbing refined grains found in many processed food. But Dr. A's plan is helping us to replace the processed foods that we've been eating for a powerful effect on our body. And by choosing healthy foods, you're going to be able to tap into the ability of nutrient-dense foods to actually improve the health of your cells and putting you in an ideal state to shed excess weight while moving you from non-sickness to optimal health. So I'm going to unshare my screen again here because I'm not too interested. I'm always a little slow with these things. Anyway, and he's just talking about us having functional foods, foods that are helpful for us, that provide particular health benefits, foods that add value to our bodies, and they move us up the path toward optimal health. It's one way of thinking of your nutritional intake as good medicine. So I think it was Ben Franklin that said, eating was going to be the medicine of the future, and it's available if we go. And then it was kind of think fresh is better than frozen, canned or in a jar. And I've always heard they say kind of flash freeze it. Fresh is always best, but then frozen would be your next choice. Canned or in a jar would be the next choices. And then natural is better than processed. And when possible, he suggests buying locally grown produce. And now that we're kind of in the summer season, there's a lot of farmers markets out there, and that makes it a lot easier. And it's a lot easier to get foods that were picked closer to the date that you actually buy and consume them. And a lot of the even commercially grown foods are protected with chemicals that are designed to preserve freshness. But do they? It says the vegetables maintain their color and texture, but they lose their flavor and much of their nutritional value. So that's kind of an interesting thing. Notice as you're eating those fresh foods. And I think he's talking about the difference between natural, processed, and organic. And is there a difference? And I never paid any attention to know what the differences were, but organic foods are produced according to certain production standards, meaning they're grown without the use of conventional pesticides, artificial fertilizers, human waste, or sewage sludge, and that they were processed without ionization, radiation, or food additives. And if you're going for organic, here's a little tip. Look for the 9s. Discovering by looking at the UPC or the PLU, the price lookup on there, there's either a 4 or 5-digit number, usually located on a small sticker that's going to be attached to your fruits and vegetables. If the code has 4 digits, it's conventional. If it has 5 digits and begins with the number 9, it's organic. So we want 5 digits and begin with 9 would be your first choice. And let's see here. And organic is becoming more and more available. It says, yes, organic products usually cost 10 to 20% more, but the difference is worth it. You're better off eating less meat and dairy products, but going organic than eating more of the processed stuff. So that kind of balances out. When your body is working well, it needs less food. And I think most of us have discovered that by eating these portion-controlled fuelings. These little bars, it's like, I'm satisfied and eating every 2 to 3 hours, and it really works. And say you spend $100 a week for food right now. Once your body wants to eat less, you can spend the same amount, but you'll still be able to buy higher quality food. And then, let's see here. And he says, when you eat bad processed food, your body is never really satisfied. So you eat more and more, even if you're stuffed to the gills. So much of our food is energy dense, but nutrient poor. So energy dense means it's got a lot of calories, but it doesn't have the nutrients. So it leaves your body deficient in the nutrients it so desperately needs. And I've always kind of said that it's kind of like, I feel like the little gambler in Las Vegas. They're putting the coin in, and they're kind of thinking that next one's going to get me what I want. And that's what our body does. You're eating that bag of chips or the bag of M&Ms or whatever, and you just keep going, I know. Eventually, it's going to get me what I need, but it doesn't. And all of a sudden, you've eaten that whole bag, and you're not feeling so good, and you're kicking yourself for doing that. So part of the trick is visualizing a 9-inch plate. And this has really helped me. I showed you this last week, little thing I got off of Amazon. But it's just kind of remembering the portions that you eat. It's going to be half of your plate, and it's a 9-inch plate. Blue is preferred. It's going to be mostly vegetables, and it can be some fruits as well. And then a quarter of it, and they think out the size of a small paperback book. So that kind of gives you a visual. I like that. And then in your whole grains, your anyway, you can do that for like about the size of a tennis ball. And then your lean protein, think about the size of a deck of cards. And then you also want to be sure if the protein that you select needs to have healthy fats, you want to be sure and get those fats. Because that's part of what is part of your plan. It helps keep your system all running right, helps protect your gallbladder, and it helps keep you more satisfied as well. But you also, hey, it's part of the plan. And if you don't do that, you're cheating yourself out of some essential calories. And so you just, let's see what I think we kind of covered. And it'll give you more specifics. So the book, or those sheets that are on Dr. A's site, are wonderful. And protein is one of those things that helps you to have a sense of fullness and satisfaction. So that's a really big thing. And he talks about fish and seafood, and eating fish 1 to 3 times a week is an important health habit. And it can actually have a profound impact on your well-being over time. In fact, 1 serving of fish a week may reduce your risk of fatal heart attack by 40%. Even if you're not a big fan of fish, I'd much rather try eating fish than go through having a heart attack and all that entails in the weakening of my health. And he's also talking about unhealthy proteins, and those actually are encouraging a habit of disease, and it starts on page 102. And with our processed lunch meats, hot dogs and hamburgers, most of us eat far too much protein that's high in saturated fat. Foods like these stimulate inflammation and have a profoundly negative effect on your heart, your blood vessels, and your brain. They create oxygen-free radicals that attack the lining of the vessels in all your organs, and they contribute to heart disease, high blood pressure, strokes, cancers, and they accelerate aging. And so just some things to think about. And he talks about eggs, and the whole eggs, you do kind of want to limit that a little bit because of the amount of dietary cholesterol. Although I think some of those guidelines may have changed. This book was written in 2008. But he says there's no limit to the amount of egg whites you can eat, as long as they fit on the 25% of your plate devoted to protein. So I think on our plan, a serving of egg whites is 14 egg whites. It's a lot of egg whites. So hey, I'm not starving you. And then he goes on and tells about some things about legumes, so beans and peas, and those things work fine when you're in the optimization plan. And let's see what else. And then dairy and cheese. You know, we can have those on our weight loss portion, but you want to be sure to have lower fat ones and the ones that are on the approved list. I mean, some little Parmesan makes a great little side just to kind of be a condiment to add a little flavor. And he says dairy products are the one protein source that can be quite high glycemic. Despite what the dairy industry would have you believe, dairy products can contribute to poor health. That is, if not properly selected. Whole milk dairy products are not only high glycemic, but also high in saturated animal fat. A double unhealthy wallop that pumps up insulin while creating ready stores of fat. True, dairy products are an excellent source of calcium, which has been shown to aid weight loss, but so are many of the vegetables and whole grains you can eat. And calcium supplements offer the same advantage without the fat and the carbohydrates. He suggests that dairy products be used sparingly and confined to low-fat, low-sugar servings during phase 1. That's until you reach your optimal weight. Once you've reached your healthy weight, you may opt to include 2 to 3 servings of dairy a day, as long as you keep steering clear of the whole fat products and focus on skim, which would be non-fat or low-fat. Good choices include non-fat yogurts. Of course, Greek yogurts are fabulous, especially like 2% Fage Greek yogurt is the one that's recommended. It's a good balance of lots of protein and limited carbs. We put some Torani unsweetened syrup in there. You can even mix like a protein pack. I love our dark chocolate cherry shake mixed in there, and that counts as one of your fuelings and then also part of your lean. And you don't want to do that every day because it has a little more calories, but it works and just gives you a change up. And then an ounce of cheese or low-fat cheeses like ricotta or cottage cheese. Remember that a 1 serving of cheese is a 1 ounce serving of cheese is a very small amount. It's about the size of 2 AA batteries. Then he talks about seeds and nuts, and we can have some of those as part of the weight loss program. But these health-giving, low-glycemic, protein-rich foods are also chock full of healthy fats. But nuts and seeds are also extremely energy-dense, meaning that they pack a lot of calories into a small amount. Those calories can add up in a hurry, and in fact, a serving size is no more than a really small handful, and you'll want to look at those numbers. Nuts and seeds are about 15 to 30% proteins, with the remainder primarily made up of mono and polyunsaturated fats, which are the healthy fats. They're also rich in a lot of vitamins and minerals. And they also have amino acid that contributes to your body's ability to relax blood vessels, decrease blood pressure, and inhibit clot formation. The steady, powerful fuel they provide makes nuts and seeds a great snack for fueling breaks with just enough protein to give you a pleasant, long-lasting feeling of fullness. Just limit yourself to a small handful to avoid the excess calories. And then the starches, he talks a little bit more, and that would be more like when you're on your optimization. And it's true that your starch selections at that point, they set the stage for your success or failure. So just things to be aware of. And I said there's such good resources here. And he talks then about unhealthy starches. And it's good stuff to know that things like donuts and sodas, cookies, candy, French fries, they're very convenient, inexpensive, readily available, and tempting. And thanks all to the food industry's heavy use of advertising. But they're unhealthy, and they fulfill a momentary need for comfort and satisfy the cravings and hunger, for a short time anyway. But they also rev up your insulin pump, which turns on your fat storage system and stimulates inflammation. And it can lead to a myriad of health problems that make up metabolic syndrome, which is the path to disease. In the end, they leave you with nothing but fatigue, excess weight, more cravings, and poor health. What's more, consuming unhealthy starches like these during phase 1 of your weight loss will bring your fat-burning machinery to an abrupt halt for a few days. So anyway, that's what you want to be really aware of those things. And then we'll talk on the bottom of 109 about fats, and eating the right type of fats and the right amount can have a dramatic impact on your health. And it's an important component of our healthy eating strategy. And talks about why does fat so easily lead to weight gain and disease. First, a gram of fat contains 9 calories. That's more than double the calories of a gram in protein or carbohydrates. When combined with too many high glycemic processed carbohydrates, our bodies store fat at an accelerated rate. Calorie for calorie, fat is much less effective than protein or complex carbohydrates at satisfying your appetite and giving you a sense of fullness. And he goes into detail about the unhealthy fats that are saturated, hydrogenated, and partially hydrogenated fats. So I'll let you read more up on those. And I know some people ask about, butters and margarine. It says, are all margarines bad for you? Because no, several types of semi-solid margarine are free of trans fats, including brands such as Smart Balance and Benecol, although Benecol cannot be used for cooking. And in the 1980s, the medical establishment believed that margarine was a healthier fat than butter. Today that we know that the trans fats found in most margarine are just as unhealthy or worse. And then healthy fats, really those are good things. And top sources for some healthy fats would be fatty cold water fish, especially salmon, soybeans, olive oil, nuts, especially almonds. My cousin had a brain tumor, back in like 1974. And I remember his doctors telling him that he should be eating raw almonds as part of his healing process. And so that kind of is an interesting little sidetrack there. And also avocados and guacamole, and also flaxseed products. And note that all fats and oils, while rich in health benefits, are a calorie-dense food with 120 calories in just 1 tablespoon. Therefore, they should especially be used sparingly during our weight loss phase, when it's important to maintain a lower energy intake. And it talks in here on page 112 about how eating good fats can actually alter your cholesterol level and improve your health. And he explains that the LDL, which is your lousy cholesterol, is kind of like a truck that delivers unhealthy fats and cholesterol to your blood vessels. And HDL, the happy or healthy fats, healthy cholesterols rather, are the trucks that can cart them away. By increasing the amount of monounsaturated fat in your diet, you'll keep removing just as much of the bad stuff while getting less of it in. And as you progress, Dr. A is going to show us natural ways to continue bringing in those good HDL trucks and rid your body of even more unhealthy fats and cholesterol. And he talks about cooking in salad oils, and then about the omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9 oils. And then 113, fiber. It's an important part of our diets. And he talks about soluble fiber. It dissolves in water, and benefits include slowing down the breakdown of complex carbs and helping to reduce blood sugar. So when you eat it in a large enough quantity, it can help to lower your cholesterol as well. And good sources of soluble fiber include grains like rye, barley, and oats, plus vegetables and fruits and legumes. Insoluble fiber doesn't dissolve in water. It is not absorbed or digested by the body, but it does reduce hunger and it's filling. It helps to keep your gastrointestinal tract clean and aids in regular bowel movements by pulling water into the colon. Some good sources of insoluble fiber are brown rice, whole wheat breads and cereals, seeds, fruit and vegetable skins, and legumes. And then we're going to talk about water. And water is so important. And our rule of thumb is we want you to drink half of your body weight in ounces, up to 100 ounces a day. And you should be a very minimum of 64 ounces of good old water. And it can be tap water. And it's a good stuff. And it says water plays a key role in supporting health, particularly during weight loss, when it helps remove toxins and other unhealthy substances stored in your fat. I never knew that, but your fat actually stores all kinds of chemicals and toxins, and even like you've done medicines and stuff, there's all kinds of things that hide out in your fat. So as you're losing weight, those things are going into your system, and so this helps to keep washing it out and making you be healthier and healthier. Being well hydrated helps all your organs and systems function properly. In fact, every function in your body takes place in water. It's the solvent that moves nutrients, hormones, antibodies, and oxygen throughout your bloodstream and lymphatic system, and it removes waste. And of course, it's essential to your kidneys' ability to filter and eliminate metabolic byproducts and toxins. If you don't drink enough water, your body is forced to recycle dirty water, diminishing the efficiency of every metabolic function. What you may not realize, you lose nearly 12 cups of water every day, 2 cups through perspiration, glistening ladies, 6 cups through urine, 2 to 4 through breathing, we hope you're still breathing, and nearly a cup through the soles of your feet. And in high altitudes or dry environments, you lose even more. So you can get dehydrated in a hurry. During phase 1, there are even more good reasons to make a conscious effort to drink your 8 glasses a day, including it's calorie-free, but it helps you feel full and satisfied. It keeps you from overeating. Studies have shown that when we feel hungry, 30% of the time our bodies are actually signaling for water. It facilitates the removal of toxins such as pesticides and preservatives from your cells. It prevents dehydration as your body eliminates excess salt and water from a diet of too much processed food. It minimizes or eliminates fatigue, a lack of energy, headaches, and unclear thinking. It speeds up your metabolism. A recent study showed that drinking 2 8-ounce glasses of cold water increases your metabolic rate by 30% for 90 minutes. So get that cold water out. It also helps your liver to convert fat to energy, and it compensates for the loss of glycogen stores as you lose weight. Some suggestions is to drink a glass of water as soon as you wake up, before every meal, and anytime you feel the urge to put something in your mouth. In addition to water's other wonderful benefits, it does help suppress your appetite. You can liven up your water by adding a squirt of lemon or some fresh mint leaves. And try and start your day with a couple of glasses before you hit the coffee pot or anything else. Well, maybe the bathroom first, but then the water, you'll be back there again. So he talks more about different water sources and some questions. I'm just not thirsty. Do I need to drink water? Don't use your thirst to guide your water intake. Thirst is a late warning system of dehydration. Waiting until you're thirsty to drink means your body must function at a less than optimal efficiency for several hours. How do I know if I'm not drinking enough? If you start feeling tired, have trouble thinking, develop a headache, or notice that your urine is darker than usual, these are late-stage signs that you need to drink more water. Urine should be almost colorless unless you've just taken some vitamins. Is it possible to drink too much water? Nope, not unless you have a specific medical condition that requires you to restrict your fluid intake, such as renal failure or severe congestive heart failure. If you have performed intense physical activity in a hot environment, in which case you should consume an electrolyte-enriched drink. Things like Powerade Zero are great for that. And you don't want to chug. You hear these stories where these college students do these things, are chugging gallons of water. Well, I'd say that's probably too much water, but most of us aren't going to try that. And he talks about herbs and spices. They are just a great way to enhance flavor without adding calorie, fat, or unhealthy substances. And he gives some great suggestions there. And with the closing up here is Habit Health is eliminating some excess salt. Because processed food is loaded with salt. And lowering your salt intake has important health benefits, including helping to lower your blood pressure. Here are some tips for lowering and eliminating excess salt from your diet. 1, follow the Habits of Health system. It's all that we're talking about here with Dr. A's healthy eating system. Lower or eliminate your intake of processed foods. Don't add salt to your food. Fill your salt shaker with half salt and half pepper, and use salt-free seasonings. So anyway, that's our trip to the grocery store, and hopefully some of these tips will help you and give you a better understanding of how some of these things impact our body. And next week, we're on chapter 10, and it's called Putting It All Together. So this will be interesting, and hopefully you've been following along here. Have a great day. Make healthy choices one at a time. Your future body will thank you, and think about how the impact is on those that you love. And I know I'm looking forward to spending some time with my family, and shoot, I don't have to say no anymore. Used to be a lot of things that I said no to because I just couldn't physically handle it. But you know what? It's awesome having a lot more yes days. So anyway, thanks for hanging in there, and have a wonderful day.